hope not. I don't like it.
Good,
Perfect.
because I go through it.
Perfect.
And I don't write, and I don't write well, right? I really get the attention of the crowd. We are having a special joint meeting here at Stanton City Hall. It's beginning at 5:30, and we're going to be going into closed session. So our attorney is now going to, first of all, ask, is there anyone who would like to speak, or anybody sends any correspondence?
Mr. Mayor, we have none.
Okay.
So the item on closed session tonight, Mayor and Council, is conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation. There's significant exposure to litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.992. Number of potential cases is 1. That's it.
And Mr. Mayor, for the record, all present members are here, and Ms. Carol Warren is excused this evening.
I don't see anybody wanting to. So let us recess to the closed chambers.
I don't know. You can do it too. I really. All right. Just at the occurrence of the council of the dais, do we concede to proceed power over to Ms.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, that's the yeses.
Call to order, please.
So, I call to order the meeting of the Stanton City Council Successor Agency Housing Authority Joint Regular Meeting. Roll call, please.
Council Agency Authority Member Taylor.
Here.
Council Agency Authority Member Torres.
Here.
Council Agency Authority Member Van. Here. Mayor Pro Tem Vice Chairperson Warren is excused this evening, and Mayor Chanchel is absent.
Moving on to the Pledge of Allegiance with Mr. Ramirez, former mayor, former council member, former mayor pro tem. Please lead us in the pledge.
Thank you. You all stand, please. Speak the flag to the right hand of your heart. Let's begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is special presentations and awards. So begin with a special recognition for our outgoing Stanton Police Chief of Police, Orange County Sheriff's Department, Captain Charles L. Walters. So in recognition and appreciation for your outstanding and dedicated service to the city of Stanton, for our dear captain, I want to say that being on Stanton City Council for 5 years, I've personally seen 3 different police chiefs. And the way Stanton looked before Chief Walters came and the way it looks now is such a world of difference. And thank you so much for bringing so many resources into our city without costing our city any additional funds. You know, we got a helicopter during National Night Out. Our police officers have stickers to give to our residents. Little kids, and it's just, thank you so much. You've been so amazing. The fact that we had bomb squad over for 4th of July, These were things that was really hard to come by before we had someone like you advocate for us. Thank you, sir. Maybe we can have all of council come and present this with it. And then we also have, oh, and we also have,
started thinking, Paige.
yes, all of you guys, please thank it. Give us a long speech.
So I want to go on to what Alice was saying. I totally agree with all that. It's been such a great tenure to have you here. Just working with your people and seeing how excited they are and all of that. It's been great. And your enthusiasm, your leadership, just being here creates such a difference to us. So I want to just thank you for what you've done for the city. I love Beach Boulevard and I don't want to see it get bad again.
Yes, sir. Well, Chief Walters, I've never had a better wish. In my career than ever, you're my first, so.
You were arrested.
You're always there for us, you're attentive, you're always looking at new programs to bring to our city. Additionally, when I want to go, on a ride along with your boys, you're right there for you to, help me identify each aspect of, the OC strategies that helps us, keep our community safe. So I wish you luck on your next adventure. Thanks very much.
We also have a very special card signed by everyone. You can read that, when you're leaving us. Yeah.
Speech. Give afterwards. No, we're just gonna go to.
Thank you for how the station looks inside too.
It'll be an extra $1 million. Speech.
So first things first, I just want to say thank you. The more I reflect on the city of Stanton, I can say that without a doubt, this city has given me the ability to test for the next process, to think, kind of strategically, to think big picture. And without Stanton, I would not be, I don't think that successful that I'm here today. I've lived every minute of it. I felt like throughout this last 22 months, we've been a team. The city council and I don't feel like there's been, it's us versus you guys. It's been one team, it's been one family. I know for a fact that we made a difference in the community, and I think that we are better off now than we were before. I've taken all this experience that I've gotten here into the next rank, which is commander, which is going to be kind of fun, but at the same time, I just want to thank everybody here today as well as to the residents, because I'm able to go to school right now. I'm currently in a master's program, and I'm actually utilizing everything that I've learned into the educational system. That hopefully when I'm done being a sheriff, I can continue to teach. That's kind of my goal, is to get back to that community that's giving me so much. The Orange County Sheriff's Department is very personal to me. I'm third generation, and so my mom and dad came to the station 2 days ago. We got to take pictures, and it was kind of nostalgic because my dad was able to look at some of the old pictures and name some of the people that I didn't know who they were. So stuff like that, like I said, I'm going to cherish. To the city, thank you very much. Like I said, you are a great partner to the Sheriff's Department. I'm looking forward to the next, this next adventure, but I'll never forget Stanton, and for the City Council, thank you.
Next item is presentation by the Orange County Mosquito and Vector Control District sharing their mission with the City Council, providing information on.
And so we just go ahead and switch that microphone on.
All right, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I just wanted to give you a recap of how we ended last year, and what we expect coming into mosquito season. We had a lot of rain, we hit 80 today, we're gonna have more rain, so we can expect some good mosquito activity this year. I'm not gonna go into too much detail, because most of you have heard this year after year, but we are an independent special district, one of two that cover all of Orange County. And we have one of the largest boards in the state with 34 cities on our board and one incorporated, so we have a board of 35 board members. We do a variety of different services and programs for different vectors. A majority of our work is in mosquito control, especially during the summer, but we do spend a lot of winter hours on rodent control and teaching residents how to do rodent reduction, as well as predatory fire ants. And then we do surveillance and testing for ticks and fleas. But I'm gonna focus on mosquitoes because that's what's gonna really impact you guys and your residents as we head into our mosquito season. I say that sort of lightly because the mosquito season really never ends, but you do get a slight reprieve in the winter. So we have a full service district. We provide education programs. We partner with children's museums as well as have school education programs. We do presentations, so if you want presentations for your residents or your senior center, we do those as well. Our lab is one of the few that is a full service lab. Which that means is we collect the mosquitoes and we test them in-house, so we turn around our disease testing in less than 1 day, so we can respond a lot quicker than sending out our testing to the state. We also test more than mosquitoes. We test our fleas and our ticks, we test rodents, we test other small mammals and our birds as well for virus activity. And then we have inspectors, which is a large portion of our personnel, and those are the folks that go out into your community every day. So every day we have a vector control inspector that's out there, either looking for routine sites that they check weekly, monthly, and or working with your residents to reduce those breeding sources for the variety of vectors. Most of our work is done in source reduction, which means we get rid of what's causing the problem, then we don't have to worry about it. Water, heavy vegetation for rodents, and then we do a lot of biological control, which is putting fish and trying to do long-term solutions until those items can get repaired. And then chemical control is our last resort, which is treating it with some kind of product, whether it's to the water, and the last resort is the adulticide. It's really hard to control for things that are flying in the air, so it's easier to do it before they get into that. We have over 27 mosquitoes in Orange County. Really gonna focus on 4 because the other ones typically live in marshes, wetlands, not really urban areas. These are our urban mosquitoes. They're gonna live in your next door neighbor's house, maybe in your house, your front yards. We have had our southern house mosquito, which is all the way at the end, for years. They are native to us. They transmit West Nile virus. West Nile virus is endemic, which means we get it every year in our mosquitoes as well as in our resident population. Our Aedes aegypti mosquitoes are our most common mosquitoes here in Orange County. Don't need to ID the mosquitoes, just kill them. That's what I tell people. Don't worry about what they look like. Just squash them, give us a call, and we'll figure out which ones they are. Our Aedes aegypti mosquitoes do not transmit disease here in Orange County, but they do have local dengue transmission just across the border in Long Beach and then in Pasadena. So now we do have it in California. It's no longer if we're going to get local transmission. At this point, it's when we're going to get it. So preparing for that and preparing our residents on what they can do. So most of our work is actually done in those large sources that cannot be controlled by our residents. So common areas, public areas, underground storm systems, wetlands, flood channels, things like that. And then sometimes those unmaintained swimming pools. Typically, in most residents, this is an economic issue. They can no longer afford to maintain their swimming pool. And to take out a swimming pool in California is really expensive. It's upwards of $30,000 on one. So it's helping them at least not make it a public health issue. This is just to show you that mosquito control is complicated. Different mosquitoes like different sources, and they can range from wetlands, which can be multiple acres of lands, to as small as a bottle cap of water in someone's backyard. And they all impact us in different ways. And we look for all these sources and we train our staff to look for that. And I have to tell you, our staff is some of the most passionate out there. They will show me pictures of their days off. They went to a park and they saw mosquitoes. So they're full-time mosquito control people, off time and on. Where our invasive species are mosquitoes, they like the smaller sources. So we often get calls from residents saying, oh, we think the mosquitoes are coming from the flood channel behind us. There may be mosquitoes, but it's not the Aedes mosquitoes. They don't like large sources. They like the small ones. That's how they've survived over generations because they can hide, and they hide really well. And the other ability they have is they can lay their eggs in dry conditions and wait for rainfall to come and resupply their eggs with water. So this heavy rainfall has created a lot of dry sources that are no longer dry. And as I told my brother 2 nights ago, because he told me, let me know when it's mosquito season, I'll dump out all the water in my backyard. And I told him today is mosquito season. So go dump out all your water. And that's what I tell every resident. Every day is mosquito season in Southern California. So any standing water, any time of the year will breed mosquitoes eventually. Going to our West Nile virus, just because I don't want that to fall on the back burner, it does impact residents. We had 7 cases last year, 6 neuroinvasive. We typically don't hear about the mild cases. We only hear about the severe ones that are hospitalized. Most people will not have symptoms or will have mild symptoms. The neuroinvasive ones are the ones that go to the hospital and need long-term care and long-term rehabilitation. Most of our activity is Northern Orange County. It's more heavily urban, it has older infrastructure, and it tends to be the epicenter of our activity. And then we saw moderate mosquito activity with West Nile virus as well. So our Aedes mosquitoes, they are ingrained in every community. Everybody you talk to will say they have been impacted. If they have not, they're like the lucky few that live in the golden area. If you're getting bites on your ankles, well, you have Aedes mosquitoes, typically not fleas or something else. So Aedes mosquitoes have typically peaked later in September and August, but we're already seeing numbers that we typically don't see until July. So we anticipate our trap counts and our collections are going to be over 5 times as high as we typically see of these mosquitoes. And that's because of all the water in the backyard. And we're doing a big push on our residents that if they eliminate water now, they're going to see less mosquitoes. Do the work now, save yourself the pain later. And so with California Mosquito Awareness Week being next week, we're really doing a big push to prevent it in their mosquito control. But if they're not, they may see these. And these are public health notices. We only put these out when there's disease associated with our mosquitoes. And what's basically doing is telling residents that there is some disease in the mosquitoes around your neighborhood. So take precautions, wear your repellent, be extra vigilant about looking for standing water, talk to your neighbors. It's sort of a lost art, but make your neighbors listen to you and talk to them and engage them about being cooperative in preventing mosquitoes in your community. And then also always notify us if there's any concern. We are happy to come out, and a big portion of our service is coming out and providing those services to our residents. I do talk about sterile insect technique because it got a lot of media release last year, and it sort of died down a little bit. I assume it's going to come back up as we see more mosquitoes. Sterile insect technique is a new technique applied to mosquito control, which is sterilizing the male mosquito and then releasing them. By the way, male mosquitoes do not bite. Their whole purpose is to make friends with a female and create more babies in life. And so male mosquitoes, we sterilize them and make them, they can no longer reproduce. And then we release them to mate with our wild females and outcompete the wild males. And that naturally brings down the population. So it's using mosquitoes to fight mosquitoes. It's a very labor-intensive process. It's a very expensive process. And we are only in a test study right now. So we are doing a test study in Mission Viejo, and it covers about 900 homes. And that's about it. And that's our capacity at this time to do that, to see if it works and how well it works, and then take that to our board to see how much do we want to invest in this technology. It's another tool in our tool belt to combat Aedes mosquitoes and help reduce the risk of disease transmission. For that neighborhood, it was picked because they had a large number of mosquitoes. That was the original area that we found Aedes mosquitoes, the first indication in Orange County. So they just came back and their population has been growing. Mostly what I want to leave with you as leaders in your community and your residents that are here is that you have a big part in mosquito control. And our staff of 60 that covers all of Orange County cannot get to every home. But if we have residents that are engaged and you as leaders help to empower those residents to take action, then we can all do a little bit and help reduce mosquitoes in our community. And it's as simple as going out and dumping and inspecting your yard. And, you know, I've told parents, make it a game. Your kids will love to do things that seem adventurous. So, you know, I tell them, like, go be mosquito hunters. I mean, my kids are a little different. They grew up in this industry. And so they love to go out and dump water. They'll go knock on my neighbor's door and say, we need to hunt for mosquitoes today. And so you can do that and really engage your community. And you'll see next week, we're going to have some activities to engage families in making it fun. So it doesn't always have to be serious. It can help be educational but fun as well. So what can you expect next year or this year as we enter? We're already at 10 travel-related dengue cases, which means that we have travelers coming from areas that have dengue and coming back to Orange County with the virus active in their system. If you've been following the news, we have the worst dengue outbreaks in the Americas, not North America, but Southern America. Brazil, Argentina have both declared public health emergencies. Puerto Rico just declared it last week. They're seeing record number of dengue local transmission cases. So we can expect those folks to be traveling back to our community. And that means that we have a higher risk of local transmission of dengue. Increased water sources. 80 degrees today, water on Saturday means more mosquitoes. The more water we have in the community, it's great for our drought seasons. It helps flush out actually our whole underground system, which is good for those mosquitoes, but it also creates a lot of water sources within our local areas, our backyards, our front yards, our landscape drainage. And then we as an agency continue to look for new technologies we can use to combat not only Aedes mosquitoes, but as more diseases are going to come into our community. As the world gets smaller, we're going to see more shared diseases, more shared species of mosquitoes and other animals being introduced into our community. So for you, I would urge you to be advocates within your community. We work with your city staff to help provide content for newsletters, our summer awareness campaign, our social media messaging, but you could just be advocates by resharing our message if you're on social media, or letting people know, or inviting us to your community events, and we're happy to come. I know, I always leave with a good no. If you're not itchy and scratchy by the time I'm done, I haven't done my job properly. But I'm available to answer any questions. If not, Councilmember Taylor has my number, and he can always relay any questions or any follow-up you would have.
Have we invited you to some adventures events this summer?
Yes, I think we were supposed to come to your Easter extravaganza, and we had a whole bunch canceled because of rain, so I don't know if we came this year, but we do typically come to at least 1 or 2 events in cities.
And are we getting the signs for the trucks? Are we on the list?
That I don't know. I can get you that information when I get back to the office.
We want them.
Oh, you want them?
Put us on the
I'll
list.
let them know you want them.
Absolutely.
That I can get you that.
We are having a car show,
Maybe.
May 18th.
I'll follow up with councilman, or I'll follow up with staff and get the information.
And I don't know if you can answer this, but how do I stop my emails from the buffet? Like, how can I,
It's a very good question. So there's some simple things you could do. The best thing to do is to use an EPA registered repellent when you're outside. I know for most people I talk to, they're like, I don't want to use, I don't want to spray repellent just because I'm taking the trash out or something to that effect. So if you wear loose clothing, they can't bite through loose clothing. They can't bite through leggings for anybody that wears leggings or like gym pants that are pretty fitted and tight. And then if you're just enjoying your patio and want to sit out, just a fan, a rotating fan. They're not really good flyers, which is why you get bit on your ankles. They can't fly high. So a fan and some strong wind does prevent them from landing, and you are no longer the buffet. Whoever's not sitting by the fan is now the buffet. So.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, and have a great evening.
Next, we have the presentation of certificates of recognition to the 2024 Citizens Academy participants, completion of 4-week community and leadership development program. And I am so excited to see so many of you guys in the audience. I remember being in the same exact room and speaking to you guys about a month ago about my high hopes for you guys. Now that you're done with Citizens Academy, we do have 2 districts in our city up for election this November. Perhaps you guys can consider either District 4 or District 2. And if not, January of the following year, we usually will have appointments of various city commissions and committees. So please consider joining us in a greater capacity after you're done with Citizens Academy. So with that, who has the certificates? You do, okay, great. Sure. Okay. Perfect, okay. A lot of names, so I think what we'll do is, yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's do that. Let's go down and that will be one picture. Yeah, good turnout this year. Oh. So as I call your name, if you can please come up to receive your certificate. And then we can also, sorry, I'm not heard song. We can also give you, they're in order, yeah. And he has the pin, so. The first lady is Daisy Hernandez. Han Hua. And Stanford Central Park. It's free. All right. We have Cam Hasney. Woo! All right. Ramona. Oh, do you guys want to stay up here? We'll take a picture. Yeah, see, Senator Josh Newman is also presenting a certificate. Let's stand there. James Bigman-Mana. Sorry if I butchered that.
Man.
Okay.
Ramona Martin.
Macias. Get 2. Everyone gets 2. All right.
I do have it.
Okay, and then Sandra Ortega. Green Sam.
Thank you.
Okay. Our amazing Ms. Ramirez. Our representing State Senator's Office, Kimberly Rangel. You should have. There you go, there you go. Just in case. Oh, there she is. There, she's only one. Yep. And then Andrew gets 2. There we go. Alvin Van. Yolanda Vasquez. We have Janet Ida Dewar. Edna Say, Barbara Celeste, Althea Tran, Amy McBride, last individual today is Melissa
Thank you.
Neza Saldana. Okay, that's all right. Okay, did everybody get their pen?
Does everybody get?
How about we have you guys come on this side too, that way you guys can all look at the photo. Squeeze everyone in. Trisha has the.
She's staying.
I want to respect wishes here. I might have,
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Another 3, 1, 2, 3. Congratulations. Okay, that would be better. I got it out.
Next item is presentation of proclamation declaring the month of April 2024 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the city of Stanton. Oh, okay, we have our dear Jessica from the FRC. All right, I'll go ahead and read this really quickly. It's a really long document, so. City of Stanton proclamation, whereas we as a society have a responsibility to nurture and protect our children and to ensure that they become healthy, productive adults. And whereas child abuse and neglect are complex, ongoing problems affecting children from every sector of society and crossing all cultural, ethnic, and social economic divisions. And whereas our children are our most valuable resources and will shape the future of the city of Stanton. And whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships created among social service agencies, schools, faith organizations, community organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. And whereas our community are stronger when all citizens become aware of child abuse prevention, are involved in supporting parents as they strive to raise their children in safe, nurturing environments. And whereas protective factors are conditions that reduce or eliminate risk and promote the social, emotional, and developmental well-being of children. And whereas we acknowledge that we must work together as a community to increase awareness about child abuse, contribute to promote the social and emotional well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment. And whereas prevention remains the best defense for our children and families. Now, therefore, let us resolve that the City of Stanton do hereby declare the month of April 2024 to be Child Abuse Prevention Month throughout the City of Stanton, and in doing so, encourage the citizens of this community to join with me to take part in creating change for the future and raising public awareness and education prevent child maltreatment, and build healthy, safety, strong, nurturing families and communities. Thank you, and I know you guys do a fantastic job with the blue ribbon every year, so thank you so much for that.
I would like to introduce our Family Resource Center Coordinator, Jessica Seguio. She just has a few words to talk about Family Resource Center as well.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for supporting families and communities together in the Stanton Family Resource Center's vision that all children grow up in stable, nurturing families and safe, supportive communities. As you are aware, the FRC provides prevention services such as counseling, parenting education, and family enrichment activities to strengthen our families and our communities. Thank you so much for honoring April as Child Abuse Prevention.
this week.
One more. And I apologize, I realized I didn't give our city attorney the opportunity to report on this closed session, so I apologize for that.
Thank you, Councilmember Amanda, members of council, there's nothing to report out.
So now we'll go ahead and move on to consent calendar. At this time, are there any public requests to pull any item from the consent calendar for separate discussion?
Ms. Acting Mayor, we have none.
Okay, at this time, is there any member of the public who wishes to provide public comment on any item within the consent calendar? Hearing none.
I'll move it. I'll second it. There's too
All
many.
right, city clerk, roll call.
We have a motion by Councilmember Torres, a second by Councilmember Taylor. I'll now roll call vote. Councilmember Torres?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Councilmember Van?
Yes.
Thank you. All items on the consent calendar do pass.
There's no public hearings, so I'll go ahead and move on to item 11A, which is unfinished business. Approval of ordinance number 1141, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Stanton, California, adopting the town center certificate for Lady General Plan Amendment, Zone Map Amendment, and subsequent initial study and mitigated negative declaration to the 2008 General Plan Environmental Impact Report. I believe we do have a request to speak by Mr. Andrew Seymour.
Please speak to the microphone, your name, and you do have 2 minutes, sir. Should be on.
Okay, hi. Hi, Honorable Acting Mayor, Council. My name is Andy Seymour. I'm here representing Metro Local 11, which is Liberty, representing more than 30,000 hotel, food service, gaming workers in Southern California, Arizona as well. We're here today to speak on this item 11A. Will change how hotels in Stanton within this specific plan are permitted. So with decades of experience studying hotels from the perspective of the workers who make them run and the communities who live here, then we are staunchly opposed to permitting hotels by right. So here, by right hotels have been the rare exception for Stanton, which this specific plan would fundamentally change. So when it comes to development, one very good way to mitigate harms and maximize benefits is the decisions about hotel developments are in the hands of the democratically elected city council. Your oversight as a council and attention to Stanton's residents and priorities will ensure that the city gets responsible hotel development, robust community benefits. So the way to do that is to simply require a development agreement for each new hotel developed in the specific plan area. So we believe that the way Stanton ensures responsible development and robust community benefits is by having this democratic body make individualized decisions about each project. Additionally, given that all projects in the relevant area seeking incentives must provide some kind of community benefits, according to the plan, we suggest simply requiring this be formalized in the development agreement that memorializes the permitted use, requested development incentives, and associated community benefits given in return. So other cities have done this, for example, the city of Glendale. So I'm just asking, please make this change tonight. Thank you very much.
I'm not sure what there's not.
Yeah, so this would be development, which would give us council the opportunity to basically ask for more things for community, right? When we ask for developments, it's important for them to also ensure that they give back to our community, and especially when when hotels are being built, it's important for council, not only us, but taxpayer dollars to be involved in this. So if I could get a second, I would like to pass this council for specific plan, and also a development plan as well, model off of Glendale, the Glendale, how do you call it? infrastructure. What do you want me to say?
Maybe you can send it to our city manager and she can then send it to the rest of the council.
They have.
Is that an appropriate way to do it? Or if he was to share, something that he has from Glendale with another council member, is it better for him to send it to you than send it to the rest of the council?
Well, this item isn't, so this particular topic isn't agendized for tonight, so I don't know if we should get too far into it. I'll defer to the city attorney. If Councilmember Torres would like to direct staff to do additional research on the item and bring that back as a staff report to the council, we are happy to do that.
I would love for, city staff.
So before, okay, so just to clarify, before staff embarks on that, I don't know if we have consensus from the council. That sounds like you want us to actually draft something for consideration for adoption. I don't know if the council would want us to take a preliminary step prior to that to bring back an explanation of what the concept is that we're talking about before we dive into the specifics.
Okay, like the council initiated items.
And I'm just looking at Community Director Crystal and also to make sure that that's clear in terms of staff direction or if we need to ask clarifying questions.
No, that is clear. So I just wanted to make sure that I was fully understanding. So the intent is not to adopt a specific plan tonight, to go back.
No, we all, so I believe
Or-
Councilmember Torres is making a motion to adopt the specific plan tonight.
And come back at a future meeting.
Come back on a separate future meeting.
Understood.
If the council were to consider moving forward with that, we could then make an amendment to what's passed tonight as part of the town center specific plan.
And I did want to say that when I first joined council about 5 years ago, back then the community development director was so hard on the way out. This is a really big deal. This is something that resources were put in for us to have a town center specific plan years ago, and it just sat on the shelf collecting dust. It was never adopted by council. I think it's really important for our city if we've already, we already have the report in front of us. It's gone through public comments. It's gone through so many processes to get to where it is now. For us to go ahead and adopt it, and we can always make amendments as we see fit, especially after staff does their research. And thank you for bringing up Glendale and that model. So we can definitely take a look at that too. So I will second your motion to adopt the town center specific plan. Oh,
So you would argue that, start.
I think that happens in 15B under council initiated business.
Okay.
Yeah.
For confirming, Councilmember Torres, you are motioning the approval of ordinance number 1141, and you will request items. So we have a second by Councilmember Van, correct? I will now proceed with the roll call vote. Councilmember Torres?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Councilmember Van?
Yes.
Thank you. Please proceed with your vote.
Okay, so moving on to new business. Right now we have consideration of ordinance and amending chapter 5.77 of the Stanton Municipal Code to provide an extension of expired commercial cannabis and specify that the city council may open an application period and set the parameters for such application period. Okay, I'm sorry. Our city manager.
Good evening, honorable mayor and members of the council. At its meeting of March 26th, the council directed staff to prepare an ordinance that would extend expired commercial cannabis cultivation permits and allow for the issuance of delivery permits for existing operational commercial cannabis retail outlets. The council had requested a quick turnaround on these two items. I would like to thank the city attorney for her expeditious preparation of the necessary documents. Regarding the extension of expired commercial cannabis cultivation permits, the proposed ordinance amends the existing municipal code to 1, allow approved commercial cannabis cultivation permittees that received a permit in November 2021 to be granted a final extension through May 23rd, 2027, and to 2, memorialize that permittees provide the city with certain public benefits based on a reduced canopy tax amount. Interested permittees must notify the city by May 1st, 2024, as to whether they intend to utilize the extension period and will have until May 23rd, 2024 to enter into an extension agreement. Just a reminder that issuance of the extension in no way guarantees that a permittee will receive a certificate of occupancy at the expiration or termination of the extension period. Each permittee will enter into the extension period at their own risk. Regarding the issuance of commercial cannabis delivery permits, the proposed ordinance amends the existing municipal code to allow the council to open a period to accept applications and set guidelines around eligible applicants based upon local economic conditions. If approved, the council's next steps will include adopting a resolution to open the application period to existing Stanton commercial cannabis retail businesses. That concludes my staff report for this evening. Both I and the city attorney are available to answer any questions.
Are there any questions or comments from the public on this matter? I did want to quickly acknowledge former Mayor and Councilmember Ramirez, because he was an architect on this. I remember we were on the subcommittee together for cannabis, and we started this process, 5 years ago practically, and to get to this point right now where we're finally able to have, hopefully, cultivation operate in our city within the next 3 years. Is really exciting. Thank you so much, staff, for working so hard on this, and thank you so much, Mr. Ramirez, for your vision in allowing this to happen. So with that,
We have a motion by Councilmember Taylor, a second by Councilmember Torres. I'll now proceed with roll call vote. Councilmember Torres?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Councilmember Van? Yes. Item passes with 3 votes.
So now we're going to move on to oral communications from the public. At this time, members of the public may address the city council, successor agency, Stanton Housing Authority regarding any items, subject matter jurisdiction of the city council, successor agency, Stanton Housing Authority, provided that no action may be taken on non-agenda items. So are there any members of the public wishing to speak on any item or matters?
And real quick, I was planning to. Thank you. Be brief.
3 minutes, sir.
3 minutes, right? 3 minutes, 3 minutes. Chief, thank you. What's up? That's short enough?
Sounds good.
No, seriously, thank you for everything you did. I know years ago, it seems like years ago, we did all these neighborhood meetings. We'll talk about enrich our lives, right? Bring businesses in, build parks. But we can't do that unless people feel safe. And you made us safe. People come to Stanton, they want to live in Stanton because now they realize that, you know what, we're directionally correct. We're going in the right direction. We're now safer than we ever moved before. Businesses now come to Stanton. Whereas before they wouldn't even take our meetings. And now we have a line of people that want to come and do business here. Why? Because they understand that their businesses will be safe, their customers will be safe. You make this engine go. Your team makes this engine go. It doesn't matter what we all do here today. If we're not safe, it falls on deaf ears. So honestly, for all our hard work, thank you.
I'll go and close communications. We have no written communications. Next, we will do mayor, chairman, council, agency authority, and business. So at this time, council, agency authority members may report on items not specifically described in the agenda, which are of interest to the community, providing no discussion or action may be taken except to provide staff direction to report back or place item on a future agenda.
But a tricky one, 15 is kind of the title of 1580. So currently.
Oh, so now we have announcements. My
Yes.
apologies. Do we have an announcement? I have a couple announcements. The first is we will have, the Stanton Community Foundation is having its car show on May 18th. And of course, our former councilmember Ramirez will be one of the judges. He's involved in everything. And it'll be right at Stanton Park, right out here from 9 to 2. It's completely free for the public to come and enjoy all the amazing cars that will be on display. So I encourage you guys to come if you'd like. If you'd like a vendor booth, let us know. You can go to StantonCommunityFoundation.org and sign up for that. And I had the great pleasure of attending the OCOG General Assembly, and at the time, our mayor, Schaber, was also there. They did a great job having presentations about structure issues and maintenance, housing needs, as well as water. So it's really nice to hear from them. And as we move on to council, agency, authority, mission, and future.
I would like to have councilors.
Councilmember Torres, if I can just clarify your request for staff's edification. So Councilmember Torres is requesting council support to agendize staff researching the concept of adding development plans, but specifically regarding hotels,
No,
just development plans within the town center specific plan area.
Well, I want to give it to Tricia. Perfect. Great. Thank you. All right, so the next item is items from agency.
Future study session items?
Items from city manager, executive director.
So I would like to defer my time tonight to community services representative Lydia. I wanted her to share what an outstanding job her community services staff did with our rained out Easter event, and just to thank them publicly for their efforts and all that they did for the community.
Thank you, acting mayor and council. I did want to highlight the team. We, of course, things were out of our control, so we had to be flexible. And decided to do a drive-through and have a DIY egg hunt for families who come to cities and do the egg hunt at home. On that day, we were expecting maybe about 100 cars. We had 100 bags prepared. We ended up with about 200. Halfway through the line, staff noticed we were running low, checked in with the cars and let them know we were running out. They still wanted to come by, say hi to the bunny, say hi to OCSD who was on hand. It was pouring rain, they were all drenched, had a great time. We ran back to City Hall, found other goodies and swag items to put in those bags. Most of the community was incredibly grateful. They sent us videos of kids doing the egg hunt at home. It's all around a great day with what we were able to work with. I want to thank Community Services Manager Ashley Kane and then coordinators Kendall Wilson and Jessica Cedillo, who really just, in 1 day or 2 put it all together. Thank you.
Orange County Fire Authority, Chief Henry, please.
Good evening, acting mayor, council, city staff, and members of the public in attendance tonight. It's my pleasure to provide you with the OCFA monthly report for monthly report for March of 2024. It's March of 2024, the OCFA responded to a total of 354 incidents within the city. Of those incidents breakdown, we had 16 of those were fire related, 320 of those were EMS rescue related, and then 18 were hazardous materials or other miscellaneous calls. The OCFA also responded to a total of 70 incidents within the unincorporated area of Orange County serviced by Fire Station 46. The breakdown of those calls was 3 of those were fire related, 62 were EMS or rescue related, and 5 of those were hazardous materials and miscellaneous. During the month of March, I'm happy to report there are no large or significant incidents that required additional resources to mitigate. To date, Fire Station 46 personnel responded on an average of 362 calls in a month, or an average of 12 calls per day. Recently, the OCFA just released its 2023 annual statistics report. Engine 46 responded to a total of 3,391 calls in 2023, making it the 10th busiest engine in the county, which is pretty significant being it's a paramedic necessity and designed one of our dedicated paramedic units. This call volume has increased. They've seen an increase of over 17% over the past 3 years of calls. And Medic 46 responded during the same time period to 2,835 calls in 2023, making it the 2nd busiest medic unit in the county. And they've seen an increase of 13% in the call volume over the past 3 years. In 2023, the OCFA got all of our stations responded to 178,370 incidents, or an average of 488 calls per day serviced out of our 77 fire stations. And the county whole, we've seen about a 6 to 7% increase annually in our call volume. In the month of March, our safety messages were focused on cooking fires, electrical fires, hoarding conditions, fire risk, and also hazardous, household hazardous waste. I'd like to remind the public just some of the common things that we're seeing is we're seeing definitely an uptick in fires caused by either cooking And then also fires related to lithium-ion batteries. So just a good reminder to, if you have lithium-ion batteries like e-bikes and scooters, we always recommend you only charge those when you're at home. You never leave them plugged in overnight when you're sleeping, because they have a danger, they could have a potential to get in what's called an overrun and start fires. So just like to remind the public of that. And then also a reminder, just like keeping fires and always having a fire extinguisher in your household within the kitchen area. On that note, we did have a structure fire today in the city of Stanton. And a single family residence. It involved a house with an elderly lady whose pilot lights went out on her gas stove. So she tried to light the stove using a lighter, and due to the accumulated gas in the area, it kind of had a cause of flash fire. She was treated and transported to the local hospital for smoke inhalation. I have reported that she is doing well and she's in stable condition. And firefighters arrived quickly on scene and were able to minimize the damage at that household. I'd like to thank the public and council members and city staff that were attended our open house, our annual open house at our headquarters this year. By far, is one of our most successful open house events we've had to date, with approximately 5,400 attendees. And so we look forward to seeing everybody next year at our event, making it better. This concludes my report from the County Fire Authority, and welcome to any questions you have.
Thank you so much, Jim.
You're welcome.
With that, I adjourn the meeting of the April 9th council meeting. Thank you guys, hold in peace.